No, I have did the necessary grind part, and I also bought myself started mail and some necessary key items. So, which wasn't particularly interesting thing to do, but there's these flying ugly things. And I will now pick up a ointment, which is very handy item. Because it makes me invulnerable to enemies. And as I'm not having a shield, it makes me completely invulnerable towards enemies, meaning I can just barrel through any opponents at my leisure. And now I will now equip my wing boots, and with them I am able to fly, and this timer up there shows that I am actually have a limited amount of time for it. Well, most power-ups like the glove or wing boots have a limited amount of time, so you really need to. But the basic plot in this part of the game is that there's 3 fountains which I must resurrect you. Obviously I must wake them up. What is potion? Well, that guy just gooey. Yeah, the translation of this game is very remarkably shoddy, but it really isn't such a really bad deal, mostly because hey, you don't really need to know about the game's fancy story to get through it. And now the wing boots are out of use again, so I can't fly anymore. And they will be very useful power up in this game. And so it is always recommended to have at least one of them in your inventory, preferably 2. Which of course meaning that as you have only 8 item space in your inventory, when I say consumable inventory, it's gonna be a bit of... it takes a bit of micromanagement. And I don't know why the player character's piece of his shoulder disappears when he climbs up the stairs. I tried all kinds of screen settings and all that, but nothing seems to work. But it seems to appear only when I climb up, so obviously only when climbing, so not much to be done with that. Yeah, spit your magics. Yeah, the game's hitboxes and all that are a bit wobbly sometimes. So let's just equip my J key. So time to get inside to this Tower of Fortress to find the second spring. There's 3 of them in total. And this is much more larger and complex dungeon than the one in the bit earlier. So you can really see that the challenge of the game does get up. Leading to, well, I'd say that it starts quite playable or not so difficult. Then it turns into really hard at the second phase of the game, where I will most likely get in this episode, mostly because that's the most maze-like and unpleasant looking and sounding place of the entire game. I don't know why. And the third phase is much, well, it's a bit more roundabout, running around, but generally not much more difficult. So just trying to get forward and most likely avoiding fights with the with Cattleman and all that kind of nonsensory. Yeah, you idiots jump into my soul. Yeah, and the controls are not exactly the most, you could say, responsive or sharp, but that looks like to be the second spring. There's a bearded guy and some gigantic flies flying around, and there's the other side of the room, although not easily gotten here, is an elixir, which is there for a reason. But yeah. Yes, I have elixir already. I had bought it. Actually, there's only one more. So yeah, there's some random pieces of dialogue which make no sense whatsoever about, well, you could say about anything relating to this game's plot or setting or anything else. Well, but the ointment makes it much easier for me to just blitz through all these screens without having to fight against all these critters. Money does have use in this game, although it's mostly just because of you have to grind it. Yep. And you could also see that the programming in this one is a bit of a, you could say, wonky, and that's poison. Don't eat it or drink it or do anything about it. And that's a big snake. Oh shit. And you can only hit it to the head. Body blows don't work on it. And here is a boss. It's just a guy dropping rocks. So I wanna walk about it and grab the elixir to myself. Now I have it again. As I look at the status player screen, it shows my equipment and all the stuff. So now just attacking this thing. Ah shit. It dropped ringing boots, but I fell off, so now I got them again. And now I'm gonna abuse the special ability of the elixir. Hey, drop a rock on my head. Yep, it healed me full. And here's a new one, so I can just pick it up again now, being full power. And I don't know, can you actually grind yourself several pairs of wing boots? Or several wing boots to you do this, and I'm not gonna bother you trying, so oh shit. And some of the monsters do quite a big chunks of damage, so it's always wise to avoid them. Maybe kill them, maybe just avoid them. It's a bit of varying about how you have to go. It's not just that always kill them all or just always avoid all of them. It's something like a mixed thing. And yeah, once again, stuck in ladder, can't move, can't dodge. You will get hit. I think no hit run of this game is quite much impossible. And there's a building inside a building. Cunning, nested structures. And here is not a guru, it's a guri. Key Joe. That actually means Joker key. And that's a unique key. Meaning that you're gonna... And look at that, I managed to swing about this whole building through, and I revived a spring and got a key to the next place, which I actually do know where it is. But there's a nasty surprise in that place waiting for you. So I'm gonna do a bit of preparation. Actually more like not so much preparation, a bit of a trick. Alright, just going to chop these up. Yep, now I got the ointment, which gives me vulnerability. And here's the door. Yeah, a wyvern. Not even fighting it, just walking through it. And here's a spring again. Yeah. And you have to talk to him twice so you get the ring of ruby. And if I hadn't done the ointment taking trick, this wyvern would have been very much of a damage dealer to me. But now I've actually done everything there is to do in this part of the game. So I guess I have revived the 3 springs which I was about to do, which I was doing in here, and I have the ring to get to the next part of the game, which also demands a key. So yeah, there was some trickery done, and generally I could still say that when it's a matter of the Metroidvania, that genre got its name from 2 games, Super Metroid and actually more like first Metroid, even though it was much cruder than the Super Metroid, and of course Castlevania Symphony of the Night, although the Castlevania 2 used similar methods in its gameplay as well. So it's a bit of a wobbly thing about, but I'd say that this game does not have the basic part of the Metroidvania, which implies that you would have to do some backtracking, like at the beginning of the game you can see some door you can't reach and then you have to come back later with the super jump or something else. But here's a spring, time to push it, and that is the only time in the game you actually need to do any kind of pushing things. So it's time to end this episode right here, and I'll go next time to that tower, to that mistland after. Actually, I spoiled it. It's a mistland. Well, the most unpleasant part of the entire game. And, well, I have to prepare for that. See you next time. See ya!